Good evening to one and all gathered here.
Just a minute. Just a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Now start. Yeah, start.
Good evening. Good evening to one and all gathered here. PG and Research Department of English, Kadir Mohideen College, Adirampattinam, organizes a one-day national webinar on recent trends in translation. We are all blessed to be a part of this session. Now I call upon Miss M. Ashiamal to recite Qiraat from the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغلوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Ameen. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to Allah, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds, most gracious, most merciful, master of the day of judgment. Thy do we worship, and thine aid we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those on whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, those whose portion is not wrath, and who go not astray. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Every act of communication is a miracle of translation. Words travel worlds, translators do the driving. And this is the moment of extreme pleasure to welcome the guest on behalf of the Research Department of English, Kadir Mughideen College at Rampattinam. The enhancement of the department is in the hands of the head of the department. Here, I welcome our dedicated and ever enthusiastic Professor M.A. Taslima, Head Department of English, Kadir Mughideen College at the Rampattinam, to welcome the gathering.
In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Respected Secretary Haji S. Muhammad Mira Sahib, revered Principal Dr. A. Muhammad Nazir, Honorable Vice Principal Dr. N.M.I. Al-Haji, dignified Deans of Arts and Science Professor A. Syed Ahmad Kabir and Dr. Abbas, distinguished Chief Guest Dr. L. Rajesh, learned colleagues, participants from various universities and colleges from all over India, I extend my greetings. A very good afternoon to one and all. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the virtual meet. The pandemic period has been a blessing in disguise. The webinars conducted through online interconnects the intellectuals, enlighten the scholars and students. Even though here we have incessant rains, we are able to be connected in our cozy and comfortable places. So I take this opportunity to welcome you all once again and don't want to take much of your precious time so that we can quench our literary thirst from the speech of the renowned scholar, our chief guest, the protagonist of this evening, Dr. L. Rajesh. I welcome you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Without inspiration, people cannot enhance. And now I kindly request
Thank
our
you, ma'am.
honorable and clear-visioned Vice Principal, Dr. N.M.I. Al-Haji, Kadir Mohideen College, Adirampattinam, who stands out among his peers to felicitate this amusing evening.
Good evening to all. Respected Secretary of our college, respected Principal, the Head of the Department of English, and the staff faculties of English Department, and our chief guests, and the participants. First of all, I wish you all, and I think it would be a very beneficial to all the participants. So we are very happy to say that our English department has organized a national webinar on modern trends in translation. Modern trends in translation. So our college secretary is very much encouraging us to conduct, to organize this type of webinars and seminars. And in this manner, in this connection, so I really appreciate the efforts of the head of the Department of English, M.A. Daslima Madam, and the enthusiastic faculty of English Department for having organized this webinar. And also, I would like to felicitate our chief guest webinar addressing the webinar, Dr. L. Rajesh, Assistant Professor of English, Raja Sarfu Government Arts and Science College, Punjab, for accepting to be the chief guest for this webinar. Also, I appreciate. I would like to welcome the participants from various institutions and organizations all over Tamil Nadu and India, and I wish all to get benefit from this webinar. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Now I call upon our passionate Professor K. Parthiban, Department of English, Kadir Moiddin College, Adarampattinam, to introduce today's chief guest.
Good evening, everyone. I am profusely overjoyed to take the opportunity to introduce our chief guest of the day. He rarely requires any introduction. He is well known for his relentless work in the field of education and translation. He is none other than erudite Professor Dr. L. Rajesh, Assistant Professor of English, Raja Sarfoji, Government Arts and Science College, Tanjavur. He is profoundly loved and respected by many scholars and readers, especially youth, on whom he has got great influence due to his meticulous service in translation. He is an approved guide and supervisor in Bharatidasan University and Bharatiyar University for MPhil and PhD research in English and translation. Under his guidance, a scholar completed his PhD and 7 scholars doing their research. He acted as a consultant in National Translation Mission in Central Institute of Indian Languages, Mysore. He has worked as an editor for the book Recent Trends in Language and Literature, published by the University of Kerala. Other than this, he has edited many books for various universities and a member of UGC sponsored editorial boards. He is the freelance translator for many companies like Microsoft, Google, Lionbridge, and Lyric Apps for 12 years. He has translated Langman Dictionary. He is the translator and editorial consultant for Collins Dictionary. He is the lexicographer in a bilingual dictionary for the Beerson Longman Group. He has organized many orientation programs, workshops, and conferences, and acted as a resource person in many programs. He actively participated in number of UGC and CIIL sponsored workshops, seminars, and conferences. He is the member of Board of Studies in Bharatidasan University, Trichy. He has successfully completed a minor research project, now serving as the coordinator of IQAC in Raja Sarfoji Government Arts and Science College, Tanjavur. Apart from this, he is a kind gentleman, have a tendency to mesmerize others by his eloquent speech. and he renders selfless service to the society. We are so honored to have him as the chief guest for this evening. Get ready for the treat. So I conclude my speech by thanking everyone. Over to the compares.
Thank you, sir. A small cheer and a great welcome makes a merry feast. I am profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to request our cheerful chief guest, man of altruism, Dr. L. Rajesh, Assistant Professor of English, Raja Sharfoji Government Arts and Science College, Tanjore, to give an evocative lecture on recent trends in translation. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Respected Principal of Qadir Muhyiddin College, Vice Principal, Secretary, and Head of the Department of English, my dear friends, all the faculty members, good evening, all of you. First of all, I thank the department for giving this wonderful opportunity to the management and to the coordinators of this program. Especially my special thanks to Dr. Karthi for organizing this program. He has taken great effort for the past 3 days and he working on it. Thank you so much, Karthi. Let us move on to the title, Recent Trends in Translation. You can ask me a question. Sir, in English literature, there are many areas out there. Why did you select translation to talk about? And the reason is there. If you go through some other subject, for example, Indian writing English, American literature, Canadian literature, New Zealand literature, whatever the literature, if you go through these literatures, you will come to know about those literature and you can enjoy. But you can get a degree. After the degree, you should select a career. But if you're very good in translation, you can make the career as translation. You can become a professional as a translator. So it's a need of the hour. Yes, we can think about why we should think about translation. To think about the importance of translation, we have to understand two different concepts. One is globalization and another one is localization. These are the important terms we should understand to know about the importance of translation. What is globalization? If we have any material or matter or a poetry, whatever we have, we wanted to take this to the world market. That's what happening around us. Whatever we do, we would like to take it to the global market. If you write a poetry, you want to take it to the global market. If you have a medicine, you want to take that medicine to the world market. So that's what happening around us. So we are not localized, we are globalized. Whatever we think globally. So to be a globalized person, what we should do? What is necessary? Translation is necessary. If you are talking in Tamil, that we can take only to the state. But if you write in English, that will go to the world. Throughout the world, it will reach. So this is what happening around us. So if you are very good in translation, you can take everything to the global market. So the world is global. Everywhere, they wanted to take all the product to the world market. Then their translation is needed. Without translation, there is no globalization will happen. If it is globalization, behind globalization, translation is there. This is one area. Other side, localization. Throughout the world, they are doing many things. So in a global market, they have some product. They want to reach their product to the local people. For example, if there is a product in London, they want to bring their product to the local market. They want to bring that product to the Adarampattanam itself. So there, what is needed, if they want to localize, they need translation. So this, if you think about globalization, globalization is Tamil to English. If you translate Tamil to English, it will go to the global market. English to Tamil, it will be localized. This will bring the product to the local market. So we have to understand these two different concepts that is going around us. Without globalization and localization, nothing is happening. Nowadays, translation has become a business. Number of companies over there, they are involving into the translation. So not only that, in politics itself, every day in a newspaper, we will come across some text should be translated, this should be translated, that should be translated. So translation is very, very essential nowadays. For globalization also translation is needed. For localization also translation is needed. Which is more, we can compare. globalization and localization. Better than globalization, localization, the translation project are available. Lots of translation projects are available in the field of localization itself. Everything is being translated nowadays. If there is a movie in Telugu or a Kannada or Malayalam or Konkani or in English, they want to translate to our local language. For example, I'm telling the movies, but in general, what is happening? Everything is being localized. If there is a product, they would like to bring that product to our home. So then they need Tamil language. So from English to Tamil, they want to translate someone to our language. Right. In the same time, we are also taking our product to the local world market. So here, both the things are very important. For both, we need translation. Globalization also we need translation. For the localization also we need translation. Yes. If you want to become a translator, what is needed? So first point I would like to mention, you should be bilingual. So what is this bilingual? Bilingual, you should be very good in both the languages. If you think about our students, the participants like the rural places and the coastal areas, so we studied in Tamil medium. Yes, most of us would have studied in Tamil medium. We should be very good in Tamil language. So we are very good in phonemic of Tamil language or morpheme of Tamil language. So if all the aspects, the syntax of Tamil language, we are very good in Tamil language. We can very well versed in Tamil language because we studied till 12th standard in Tamil medium. We are very good in Tamil. After that, so most of us from English department, I think so, you will be attending. So we have studied BA English and MA English and MPhil. So we are also good in English also. So we are the right person to do the translation. We can only do the translation. If a person who has studied in Chennai, he will be very good in English. He will have some problem in Tamil language. He could not be a translator. If a person who has studied here in Tamil, they will be good in Tamil, they may not be good in English. So they could not do translation. The right person to do translation is we. We means we have studied till 12th standard in the Tamil medium. After that, we have studied in English. Maybe English or BA or MA or MPhil like this. We will be good in both the languages. We will be the right person to do the translator. So simply we can keep in our mind, if you want to become a translator, you should be bilingual. Bilingual in all the aspects of the language. So after both the languages, if you are very good, you can become a translator. Next point we can think about bicultural. Not only bilingual, we should be bicultural. Whatever we read, we should know the culture. So Tamil Nadu, if you think about Tamil Nadu is a country of culture. So whatever we do, there will be a culture. So it's based on the religion, it will be different. One religion will have a different culture. Another religion will have a different culture. Another religion will have a different culture. So many cultures will be coming together in our place in Tamil Nadu. But Tamil Nadu is a country of culture. Number of cultures are there, but if we are living in a Tamil Nadu, we would have understand all the cultures. So at the same time, we must know the culture of English language. If you are a translator from Tamil to English, we should know English culture. So it is also easy. What I told you earlier, So we have studied English. UG English and PG English we have studied. We have studied the culture of English people. We can easily understand in the world of globalization. So we are watching many movies or serials. We are watching English serials. We can easily understand the English culture itself. So if you want to be a translator, you will also be a bicultural personality. So if you want to become a translator, first you should be a bilingual personality. Second, you should be a bicultural personality. Third point that's very important for a translator, if you want to become a translator, we should know the manner and movement of the current period. After Corona, just think about it. After Corona, the lifestyle of all the persons have changed. So we should know the manner. We should know the movement. What kind of a movement is there in India? What kind of a movement is there in London? So we should understand the style. So simply we can say we should be an updated personality. If you want to be a translator, if you don't update yourself, if you are not able to know about what has happened around you, you cannot become a translator. You have to gather everything, every movement, every manner you must observe. What is happening? So on the side of youth, what's happening on the side of the old people? What is happening around us? Each and every point we must catch. Then only we can easily translate. If you don't understand the manner and movement of the time, we could not be a translator. So that's a third point. Very important point I would like to note here is if you want to become a translator, you should be very good on the technology. So once upon a time, everybody is doing translation manually. They sit, they will have a book and they will read all the lines and they will do the translation. But nowadays it's not like this. You can understand number of tools number of technologies are available, number of applications are there. You can make use of the computer to do the translation. So if you go into the Google, number of tools. If you search translation tools, everything will come. So phonological analyzer you can get, morphological analyzer you can get, syntactical analyzer you can get. You can have a number of dictionaries, number of thesaurus. But once upon a time, we should keep everything manually in front of us, and then we can translate. If you have any doubt, you must refer the book. That will take a lot of time. But nowadays, it's not like this. If you're technically good, simply you can type the word, you can get the translation easily. So nowadays, I can say that Google, I'm also working for Google translation. So Google translation is giving you the Pakka translation for you. Nearly 70% of translation you can get right translation from Google Translate. But a number of tools are there, but better is Google Translate. But some other tools, they will give you 50%, 40% of best translation. But Google is giving nearly 70% of the best translation. So not only Google, Bernard are there. Number of other tools are also there. As I told you, if you are updated yourself on technology, you will be a better translator nowadays. You can become a professional translator. If you want to make yourself as a translator professionally, if you want to earn money, you must know the technology. Without knowing the technology, nowadays it's not easy to translate number of terms. So for example, for a day at least you must translate 2000 words. If you translate 2000 words, that will help you for your life. So the point is that if you want to become a translator, you must be very good on technology. Next point I would like to make here, if you want to be a translator, you should be a creative writer. Somebody will be the poet. Somebody will be interested in the science. If you are very much interested in science, you will be a better translator. To translate scientific text. If you want to become a poet, you will be a best translator of poems, literary translator. So if you don't have a creativity, if you are mechanical like this, you cannot be the translator. If you want to be a translator, the creativity should be in your mind. Just mechanically, so like a machine was doing, we could not do the translation. The translation will not be perfect. So here I would like to make a point to the audience. If you want to become a translator, you should improve yourself on the languages. You must go and search the languages and the elements of languages and the sentences. You must do the research on sentences and on both sides. English to Tamil, if it is so, you must be good in English and Tamil. And you must understand the English culture and the Tamil culture. You must understand what's happening around us. You should be technically good. And you should be a creative writer. If you are a creative writer, your translation will be perfect. Yes, I would like to tell about NIDA's model of translation process. But this is not my point. The greatest scholar in the field of translation, NIDA, has given a model to translate. So there are two texts, you know that. So the source language text and the receptor language translation. If you take the source language text, if you want to translate one poetry or a prose, first what you should do, you must read the text. You must go through the text. You must analyze the text. What is the analyze? You must understand the backgrounds. What are the elements of there? What is the denotative meaning? What is the connotative meaning? Everything you must observe. You must analyze the text, to whom it is written. So the analysis part is very important. We should not simply translate it. Before translating the text, we have to analyze it. Nook and corner we must analyze. We must analyze all the words. What is the meaning to each and every sentence? What is given there? What it denotes? What it connotes? Everything you must understand. That is called analysis part. So after analysis, you must transfer this to another language. So there the translation is taking place. After translating it, you must restructure it according to the receptor language. So receptor language culture will be completely different. After transferring the text, so from one language to another language, it has come. After that, you must sit. So you must think about the receptor language. What is the culture of receptor language? What is happening in the receptor language? To whom we are taking this translation? Based on that, we have to restructure the text. And then it should go to the receptor language. So if it is translation, 3 stages are there. Source language to analysis. After that, it should be transferred. After transferring it, it should be restructured. We must sit, we must restructure, we must change the language according to the receptor language. If you're taking a text from English to Tamil, there will be number of names, number of technical terms will also be there. We must analyze, we have to transfer. After transferring it, you have to think about it will be suitable to the receptor language or not. You must think about it. If it is not adaptable, if it is not suitable for the receptor language, you can change it. That is called restructuring. This is a model of translation according to NIDA. We'll move on J.C. Catford. He has written a book called Linguistic Theory of Translation. Here what he says, translation is not only replacement of textual material from one language to another language. So it is there. It is a replacement of textual material, but it is a conversion of meaning. The text will be there. There is a sentence, and the sentence will be there, but the text will be completely different, but the meaning will be different. What is given will not give the meaning. So we must go into the text and we have to catch the meaning. Words will entirely different. So, but the meaning will completely different. What is the word is given, but that meaning will be completely different. So what Catford says, we should not translate simply the text. We have to convert the meaning. What is the meaning of the source language? Text should be brought to the target language. That's very, very important. We have to think about the meaning. Meaning is very, very important as per J.C. Catford. Then what he says, translation is an operation performed on languages. He simply defined, if it is translation, it's like operation. If you are a translator, you are a doctor. If a doctor who is going to perform an operation, what he will do? He will check the patient. He will check everything. The complete checkup will take place. After that, whatever is necessary, he will give to the patient. And then he will go for an operation. After completing the operation, so he will be in the observation for some time. Likewise, what is given by NIDA is given by J.C. Catford in a different way. He says that translation is an operation. So when he is doing an operation, he should be very careful. He has to remove something and he has to put something in the right place. If something is changes, so everything will be collapsed. That is what he says. So we must check. This is called analysis. And then we must do the translation. That means transfer. And then restructuring. After operation, there will be some observation. So this is what he says. It's like operation. Translator is like a doctor. How carefully a doctor should be there. If he is not careful, or if he is careless, the operation will not be success. It will be a failure. The patient will also die. So the translation this will take you to the another place. It will not give an exact meaning. So as J.C. Catford says, translation is an operation. So if you are a translator, you should be very careful. You must convert the meaning. Then we come back to the great researcher on translation, Susan Passrett. He gives 3 questions. If you want to be a translator, you have to go through these 3 questions. You must get the answer for these 3 questions. First question, what does the author say? What is given by NIDA, what is given by J.C. Catford is given by Susan Passrett in different words. That's it. The point is one. What does the author say? What he is telling. First point, you must catch what the author is giving you. Second, what does he mean? What is he is telling will be different from what the meaning. The meaning will be different. What is given, what is the text, that will be different from the meaning. First, you must catch what he has told. Second, you must take the meaning. And a third one, how does he say? So, okay, the meaning is different. What is given by the person is also different. What does the author say is different. What does he mean is different. How does he say will be completely different. When he changes the modulation, the meaning will be changed. So before doing translation, as a translator, you should ask these 3 questions. What does the author say? What does he mean? How does he say? So these are very important questions. If you get an answer to these 3 questions, your translation will be perfect. Yes. Yeah, we'll think about translation is creative or not. Is it a creative or imitative? Shall it be creative or not? Translation is neither a creative art nor an imitative art. Stands somewhere between the two. So you can understand, I think so. Translation will be creative. At the same time, translation will be imitative. But it stands somewhere between the two. According to the text, some text will be creative. some text will be imitative. Here we can talk about scientific translation or literary translation. If it is a literary translation, the creativity will be more. If it is a scientific translation, imitative will be more. The percentage will be different. But if it is not creative, it will not fit to the target language. If it is creative only, the target language readers can easily understand. If it is imitative only, it will be a translation. If you don't imitate, that is not a translation. That will be your original work. So that is what Horst French says. Translation should be creative. At the same time, translation will be imitative, but the percentage will be different. At sometimes the creativity will be more. Creativity will be 50%, and sometimes imitative will be 50%. But sometimes creative will be 70%, imitative will be 30%. The percentage can be different. But we could not say that translation is creative, but at the same time, we could not say that a translation is imitative. It will be mixed. Creativity and imitativity will be mixed in translation. Yes. Now we can talk about kinds of translation. Many kinds of translations are there. Roman Jakobson has given 3 types of translation. One is intralingual translation. What do you mean intralingual translation? You can ask me. It is an interpretation of verbal sense from one language to the same language. Sometimes we can translate from one language to the same language. If some text is in Tamil, some words can be there for likewise Kaliru. What do you mean Kaliru? So the Tamil teacher will come and explain you that is a Yane like this. So this is intralingual translation. So we can say that lots of classical Tamil texts are available. So many classical texts are there. Can we understand that classical text? Say common people, they could not understand. There what it is needed, it needs a translation, but it is a translation from one language to the same language. It is also taking place. Sometimes you can see, in Chennai, there is a dialect. Chennai dialect can be translated into the pure Tamil. So Tirunelveli dialect might have been there, Tamil. Tirunelveli dialect can be translated to proper Tamil. So this is called intralingual translation. Intralingual translation, so there only one language is taking place. That is translation from one language to the same language is called intralingual translation. One more translation is there, that is interlingual translation. That is what the proper translation, that's what we are discussing, from one language to the other language. But translation in the sense it is not from one language to another language. If it is one language to another language, that is called interlingual translation. Third type of translation is also there, that is intersemiotic translation. This is interpretation of verbal sense from one language or text to other format. So there will be some text. There will be a text. Text is taken into a music. Text is taken into a dance. Text is taken into an art. So that can be there, Art can be taken into a text. So that is called intersemiotic translation, one format to another format. So with the intralingual translation, but interlingual translation, it will have a text only. But intersemiotic translation is a semiotic translation. From one format to another format, if you take the translation, that is intersemiotic translation. Okay, we can come back to John Dryden, that, so familiar person for us, for the English literature students. He, after doing many translation, he has defined the 3 types of translation. One is metaphrase, second one is paraphrase, third one is imitation. He explains, metaphrase is a word-to-word translation. What is there in the source language, we must take that all the words to the target language. That is metaphrase. What is there? Each and every word should be taken to other language. That is called metaphrase. But John Dryden is not supporting to that kind of a translation. That will not be a translation. We should not see the word as we discussed earlier. Metaphrase is not a translation, but somebody are doing that kind of a translation, but that cannot be considered as a translation. That is word-to-word translation. Second category he is discussing, paraphrase. Paraphrase is one word to, simply we can say that is meaning to meaning translation. There will be one word, that meaning should be taken to another language. So this is meaning to meaning translation is called paraphrase. But John Dryden is supporting second part. So metaphrase is not a good translation. Paraphrase is the right translation. So we should take the meaning from one language to another language, that is paraphrase. Third one, he is telling that imitation. Here the word imitation is not meaning the imitation. Imitation is we can add something or we can delete something. You go through the text, you translate it. After translating it, if you are not okay with some part, you can delete it. If you want to add something, you can add it. That is called imitation. But John Dryden is supporting imitation itself. He supports paraphrase. Simply, what is paraphrase? We know that. So what is there in the source language, that should be taken to the talker language. That will be a right translation. If you translate word to word, if you add something or delete something, that cannot be a translation. That is what he discusses. Yes. We would like to discuss about the problems of translation. When we are doing translation, lots of problems can come across. The first problem is linguistics problem. No two language will be same. You can understand. Each and every language will be different. The format will be different. Pattern will be different. Phonology will be different. Syntax will be different. Everything will be different. So we could not take the text as it is to the another language because no two language are the same. So because of that, the language problems will come across. There we have a problem. That should be solved. That can be solved in the way that we no need to follow the pattern of a source language to the talker language. For example, if you think about English and Tamil, English subject, verb, object, we will have a direct object and indirect object like this. But what happens in Tamil? Subject, object, and verb. The pattern will be different. So we have to change. We have to adjust ourselves. We can solve the problem, but we'll have a problem on linguistics point of view. Language side, we will have a problem, but that can be solved. Second one, cultural problem. Each and every country will have a different culture. Our culture will not be there in England. Our culture will not be in Russia. So their culture will be different. So we are, as we told earlier, we are cultural based. Each and everything will be different. So lots of cultural based terms will be there. In the classrooms, some students will ask, sir, so Thali eppadi sir translate pandrathu? Metti eppadi sir translate pandrathu? Kungumathai eppadi sir translate pandrathu? They will be asking, but we can do the translation, but so the reader, if it is translated to other language, the reader will not get the exact meaning. So there, we must follow Dryden's point. Paraphrase. We have to paraphrase. We must explain. Thali we can translate in any term, but how they will understand? So it has many things into it. Likewise, the cultural problems will be there. So that can also be solved. We have to compare both the culture. Here, the marriage is taking place in this way, but how the marriage is taking place in the talker language. So we have to know both the culture. We have to change the culture to another culture. If we try to keep our culture exactly, there will be some problems. So the problems we can have on a cultural point of view. And the next one, technical terms. So we are living in the technology, in the world of technology. So even in this seminar is also taken through on a Google platform, right? So everything is on the side of technology nowadays. So we have a number of technical terms. There will be a question: can we translate technical terms or not? For example, some companies, they would have given a name to their product. Will it be translated or not? Just think about it. Facebook. So now the name has been changed recently. Okay, well, we can think about it. Or otherwise Bluetooth. Bluetooth is the name of the technology. So they found some technology and they put the name for that technology. Bluetooth is the name of the thing. He has given everything to other people. He was completely generous. So in that way, this technology, using this technology, you can share many things with other people, other mobiles. That's what a person who was sitting there and he translated Bluetooth. He has given Bluetooth to that. So here we have to think, should we translate Bluetooth in other language? How can we translate? Shall we translate Neelappa like this? So lots of problems are there, but it can be solved. In this way or that way, we can be solved. Right. Even nowadays, what we are having, it's very famous. WhatsApp. What's up there? What's up? So this is a beginning. What's up there? Anga enna nadakudhu? So that's a term. Anga enna nadakudhu அப்படிங்கறத ஒரு டெக்னாலஜிக்குள்ள கொண்டு வந்து அங்க என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்காக ஒரு டெக்னாலஜி வாட்ஸ் அப். but up has UP up has become application. They have combined two words, what's up there. So we can come to know what is happening there. That is given through an application. That's what it has become WhatsApp. So we have to translate it. How to translate? So we have lots of problems. Here nowadays a term is very famous, Katsevi. Is it right or not? Katsevi, how it is connected with the source. So lots of problems are coming over there also. So in the technical terms, when we translate technical terms, we have some problems that can also be solved. So we try to give a simple term to that terms. Simple term that should be understandable to the Docker language readers. If it is so, it will be good, but we have lots of problems. Can we translate technical terms? Can we translate the names? So it is there is a rule. The names should not be translated. The measurements should not be translated. But we don't accept Tamil people. So how can we say English words in Tamil? How can we say Twitter? So it should not be accepted like this. Right. We have problems on technical terms itself. And in the translation, very important problem is personal changes. Each and every person will be completely different. Your mindset will be different. My mindset will be different. When I translate a story, my personal ideas will go into it. I will translate in such a way. If you translated it, your personal identity, your personal mindset will be different. You will be translating it in a different way. So the personal changes will also affect the translation. But when you are translating a text, you should not be personal. You should not be historical. What you have experienced, you should not affect the translator. This should be a real translation, but it should not be avoided. A person should not be real. Definitely, his own personality will affect the translation. His own history, his own experience will affect the translation. But if it is a better translation, you should come out. It's a problem there. A person could not come out from his own experience. A person could not come out from his personality. So he will have his personal identity, personal points. So this will definitely affect the translation. But if you want to give a perfect translation,
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
Sir, presentation is stopped, sir. It's not seen.
But 1 minute, 1 minute.
Okay, sir.
Is it visible now?
No, sir.
Okay, some points are there. Can you follow me?
Yes, sir.
Without presentation. So I don't think what's the problem there.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Proceed,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, I
Sir,
don't-
please start
Yes,
to share the screen, sir.
Yeah, I have shared it. 1 minute, 1 minute. Now?
Yeah, now it is
Sir, it's
visible.
visible, sir.
Yes, okay. Yeah, we are talking about the four personal challenge. The next one is social and geographical factors. Yes, definitely. If you are a personality, your society, your societal factors will affect you. Your geographical factors will definitely affect you. If you want to give a right translation, you should completely come out your social and geographical factors. So, but if you are translating to the small children, you should be think about the children. So we have to take the translator to the children. So our society, if our old man, I can be a old man, I'm translating a text, but to whom I'm translating to a children. In that way, the translation should be there. So simply, my point is that if you are a very good translator, your social and geographical factors, you should come out from these factors. So these are some problems of translation. So we can have, when we are translating a text, linguistics will be a problem, language pattern will be a problem, the structure of the language will be the problem, culture will be the problem, but technical terms might have been the problem. Personal challenge and social and geographical factors might have a problem, but we can simply come out from all the problems. There are some solutions out there. So we can find the solution and we can give a better translation, but problems will also be there, but we can easily come out from these problems. Next PowerPoint. Yes, any one of you, can you tell me? Can you see the next PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. We
Okay,
can see it.
thank you. So yeah, we'll come back to the last slide. I would like to discuss about recent trends in translation. Nowadays, number of translation projects are available. If you Google translation companies, you can get thousands and thousands of translation companies. They are giving lots of projects and translation. I have given some major translation company names, but thousands of translation companies. They are translating many texts. Every day they are giving lakhs of words translation, mainly from English to Tamil translation. Tamil to English translations are taking place. But so frankly speaking, nowadays the translators are not available. The right translators are not available. They are searching for translators. If you go into these kinds of websites, you have to register yourself. For example, right? Okay. If you go into the pros.com or a translators.directory.com, translators.database.com, sublime subtitling.com and ntm.org.in, these are some translation companies. So how to get the translation project, you can ask me. Just click on pros.com, you go and register yourself as a translator. After registering yourself, they will send you the sample text. So 1 or 2 pages they will give you. If you translated this rightly, they will accept you as a translator. They will put your name in their list. If anybody, those who are in need of translation, will approach you. Nowadays, if you translate one word, they are giving 2 rupees. This is a market price nowadays. If you are giving a right translation, one word they are paying you 2 rupees. You try to understand. In a single day, if you translate 500 words, you can get 1,000 rupees. If your translation is perfect with flawless. For the flawless translation, they are giving 2 rupees. For that, you must give a right translation. So it's a few company names I have given. At the same time, you can see this sublimesubtitling.com. So their work, they are giving subtitling. So they will give a movie. Nowadays, everything is, all the movies, all the short films, all the serials have been translated. The subtitle is given. So we are watching TV, you know. So all the programs is taken from some other language to our language. Some of the movies that which is released in Hotstar like this, all the movies will have a subtitling. The market is more there in subtitling projects. If you translate for a movie, simply you can get 20,000 rupees. How many days it will take? If you're a very good translator, if you sit for 2 or 3 days, you can do the subtitling. So they, with the help of technology. So one side, the English dialects will be there, and another side you must translate. So from that English part, the English part will be one side, and another side you must give the translation, Tamil part. So here the point is that you should be somewhat good in the technology. You must know the typing of a Tamil language. If you're very good in all the points that we discussed, simply within 2 days you can earn 20,000 rupees. For that, you must prove yourself you are a right translator. You must approach them. You have to register yourself in these kinds of the websites. They will give you the project. So long-time projectors are also available. Everything is being translated. That you have to understand. So number of websites are there. All the websites, they try to keep their information, their website in all the languages. You can see some part of the corner, there will be a language. If you switch Telugu, the Telugu version will come. If you switch Tamil, Tamil version will come. If you switch Konkani, Konkani version will come. So some people are sitting and working. So who are they? So frankly speaking, some Bengali persons, they have learned Tamil and they are doing translation of Tamil, because for Tamil language, the projects are more. So last one, so in the introduction also, the person introduced to me, I have worked in NTM. Even in NTM is National Translation Mission. This is a government project. Translation mission they have. They are translating the government documents from English to Tamil. So regularly they are giving some projects, but this is a government project, you know, they will give 1 rupee for word. So they will translate all the documents. So even I have translated a lot of text for a national translation mission. They will pay you 1 rupee. This is a government project. There also you can register yourself as a translator. If you want to translate some books, and the list of books are available in the website. You can go into the website, National Translation Mission. You can see the list of books. If you want to translate a particular book that in which you are interested, you can do the translation. So this is about the translation companies which are available nowadays. And another part, we can think about machine translation. Yeah, you are very aware of it. I have already told you about the Google translation. Lots of machine translation things are there. Lots of tools are there. How they are translating, how the machines are doing translation. So this is the technical part. That's what I don't want to go deep into it. Simply, I would like to say some, when the machines are doing translation based on the rule. So we will give a rule of one country. So one language, if there is a Tamil language, we have so many rules. So number of rules we have. Subject will be there, noun will be there, proper noun will be there, common noun will be like this. So we should give a rule of a Tamil language and we will give a rule of English language. This machine will translate. So after analyzing the rule and then transfer based approach there. So simply the machine will transfer from one language to another language and then it will analyze. This is corpus based, sorry, transfer based. Another one is corpus based approach. Corpus, we will give all the corpus of both the language. Corpus is a sentences. Whatever available in one language, we will give everything to machine, and the machine will search and find the equivalent in another language that will give it. So this is what the Google is using, corpus based approach. These are some approaches, and many attempts are taking place on machine translation part. But we as a person, as English literature students, we should not think about machine translation. That is completely related to the technology. So technology part, we no need to go, but simply we can be a translator. We can go into the translation company, we can register. And as I told you earlier, translation tools are there. Number of translation tools, as I told you earlier, Google Translator is there, Trados there, WordFast is there, Anukriti, there are some tools which is created by the government of India is also there. You can make use of this. So as a concluding remark, if you are a translator, simply you can earn a lot of money. Nowadays we are telling that, so we could not get a job. So English literature is there. You can become a teacher, you can become a professor. Apart from that, you can become a translator. You can become a freelance translator. You should not do it a work. You cannot go to the company. Simply sitting at home. If you are very good in translation part, you can do the translation. You can send the translation through mail. You can earn a lot of money. This will help you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity given by the Department of English, Qadir Muhyiddin College. Thank you so much for the audience for participating from throughout India. So once again, I would like to thank Dr. Karthi for organizing this program. I thank the management and all the professors who has begun this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by the spark from another person. We are all rekindled by this session. Thank you, sir.
Now the time is given for discussion. If any queries, audience may feel free to ask. Thank you.
Good morning. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
தமிழ் துறை தலைவர் காதிர் முஹிதீன் கல்லூரி அதராம்பட்டினம்.
எஸ் சார், எஸ் சார், சொல்லுங்க சார்.
அதாவது அருமையான உரை, மிக சிறப்பாக இருந்தது. எளிய முறையில் எல்லோரும் புரியக்கூடிய அளவில் ஒரு நல்ல நடையாக இருந்தது உங்களுடைய விளக்கங்கள்.
நன்றி, நன்றி சார், நன்றி சார்.
என்னுடைய ஒரு கேள்வி என்னன்னா,
சொல்லுங்க சார்.
இமிட்டேஷன் என்று சொன்னால தமிழ்ல போல செய்தல்.
இமிட்டேஷன். எஸ் சார், எஸ் சார், எஸ் சார். ஓகே சார், ரைட்.
எப்படி கைண்ட்ஸ் ஆஃப் டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன்ல வரணும் என்பதை நான் கேட்கிறேன்.
இமிட்டேஷன் இல்ல, நான் நீங்க கேக்குற கேள்வி ட்ரைடன் சொல்லும்போது அவர் இமிட்டேஷன் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு.
ஆமா,
அவர் அவர் ட்ரைடன் காலகட்டத்துல இமிட்டேஷன் அப்படின்னாக்க அது வந்துட்டு எக்ஸாக்டா நீங்க பேசிட்டு இருந்த மாதிரியே எக்ஸாக்ட் இமிட்டேட் பண்றது, போல செய்யறது அப்படிங்கிற மீனிங்ல அவர் யூஸ் பண்ணாம, நம்ம டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன்ல ஏதோ கூடவோ குறைச்சோ செய்யறத அவர் இமிட்டேஷன் மீன் பண்றார். பட் ஹி யூஸ் த டேர்ம் இமிட்டேஷன் இன் டிஃபரண்ட் வே.
ஓகே சார். அதாவது
இமிட்டேஷன்ங்கிறது போல செய்தல் தான். நம்ம டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன் பத்தி பேசும்போதே நான் சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தேன். டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன் வந்துட்டு இமிட்டேஷனாவும் இருக்கலாம், அட் த சேம் டைம் கிரியேட்டிவாவும் இருக்கலாம். ஒருவேளை சார் உங்களுக்கு புரியும், கிரியேஷன் கொஞ்சம் இல்ல டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன் அப்படின்னா, இப்ப ஷேக்ஸ்பியருடைய அவருடைய கேரக்டர்ஸ் எல்லாம் அப்படியே நம்ம கொண்டாந்து தமிழ்ல கொடுக்கும்போது புரிதல் கொஞ்சம் கம்மியா போயிடும். அப்ப நம்மளுடைய கலாச்சாரத்துக்கு ஏத்த மாதிரி கொஞ்சம் மாத்துறதுதான் நல்லதா இருக்கும். பட் நீங்க சார் கேட்கிற கேள்வியில இமிடேஷன் அப்படிங்கறத ட்ரைடன் வந்து வேற மீனிங்ல யூஸ் பண்றாரு. ஆனா இமிடேஷன் எக்ஸாக்டா இமிடேஷன் மட்டும் தான் டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன் பார்த்தோம்னா, நம்மளுடைய இப்போ இங்கிலீஷ்ல இருந்து தமிழுக்கு ஒரு ஒரு டெக்ஸ்ட் டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணும்போது ரீடபிளாவே இருக்காது. எக்ஸாக்டா கொண்டாந்து கொடுக்கும்போது நம்மளுடைய கலாச்சாரத்துக்கு ஏத்த மாதிரி அதுல கொஞ்சம் சேஞ்சஸ் பண்ணாதான் தட் வில் பி ரைட் டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன். அது ஸ்காலர்ஸ் சொன்னதாங்க சார். பட் ரைடர் வந்து அதை வேற டேர்ம் மீனிங்ல யூஸ் பண்றாரு.
ஓகே சார். இன்னொரு கேள்வி என்னன்னா, இந்த மொழிபெயர்க்க முடியாத சில சொற்கள் இருக்கு.
சரி சார்.
அதாவது நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா, நம்ம அதாவது இப்ப நம்ம இன்டர்நெட்னா தமிழ்ல இணையம் சிம்பிளான சொல்ல மொழிபெயர்க்கிறோம்.
எஸ் சார்.
ஆனா வந்து நீங்க அண்ணன் தம்பி, எல்டர் பிரதர்ஸ், யங்கர் சிஸ்டர், இதற்கு தற்போது மொழியில ஏதாவது கண்டுபிடிச்சிருக்கீங்களா டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன்?
இல்ல எப்படி சார் அண்ணன் தம்பியை வந்துட்டு இல்ல மீனிங் சரியா அந்த கேள்வியே.
அதாவது இத வந்து நீங்க யங்கர் சிஸ்டர் இல்ல யங்கர் பிரதர், எல்டர் சிஸ்டர், எல்டர் பிரதர் இந்த மாதிரி தான் நீங்க டிரான்ஸ்லேட் இருக்கு.
எஸ் சார், எஸ் சார்.
ஏன்னா நான் கேட்கறது என்னன்னா, ஒரே சொல்லில், அதாவது பாத்தீங்கன்னா தம்பி, அண்ணன், இந்த மாதிரி ஒரே சொல்லில இன்னும் அது கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியலையே, அதுக்கு என்ன காரணம்?
கண்டிப்பா கண்டிப்பா இல்ல சார். அங்கதான் நம்ம உயர்ந்து நிக்கிறோம். அந்த விஷயத்துல நம்மளுடைய உறவு முறைகள் மொழிபெயர்ப்புல பாத்தீங்கன்னா, நம்மகிட்ட இருக்கிற டேர்ம்ஸ் எல்லாம் இங்கிலீஷ் கொண்டு போய் அவங்களுடைய கலாச்சாரம் கம்ப்ளீட்டா வேற சார். இப்ப கசின்ங்கிற வார்த்தை ஒண்ணே ஒண்ணு நம்மகிட்ட நிறைய இருக்கு இல்ல சார். அந்த இப்போ நம்ம மச்சாம்போ, மச்சினிம்போ, அங்கிள் கூட எடுத்துக்கலாம். அங்கிள்னா நம்ம இங்கிலீஷ்ல ஒரே ஒரு டேர்ம் தான். நம்ம சித்தப்பா, பெரியப்பா, மச்சான், மச்சான் கூட வராது, சித்தப்பா, பெரியப்பா, இவங்க எல்லாருமே இதுல வந்துடுறாங்க. உறவு முறையில நம்ம தமிழ் வந்து ரொம்ப ரிச் சார். ஆனா அவங்களுடைய கலாச்சாரம் வேற, இங்கிலீஷனுடைய கலாச்சாரம் வேற. சோ இது வந்துட்டு நம்ம வந்து பேராபிரைஸ் தான் பண்ணணும். அகைன் we are going back to the trident. எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணக்கூடிய சிச்சுவேஷன் தான் இருக்குமே தவிர கரெக்டா வேர்ட் டு வேர்ட் டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன் இங்க கொடுத்தோம்னா அது நல்லாவும் இருக்காது. நம்ம we have to explain this.
ஓகே.
அக்கானா நம்ம விளக்கம் தான் சார் கொடுக்குற மாதிரி இருக்கு, பேராபிரைஸ் தான் பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கு.
சரி சார். அதாவது நம்முடைய மொழியில் ரீதியாக தமிழ் மொழியும் ஆங்கில மொழியும் சில பண்பாட்டு விஷயத்துல வேறுபடுது.
கண்டிப்பா கண்டிப்பா.
ஓகே, அருமையான விளக்கம் சார்.
ஆனா அதுல வந்துட்டு நம்ம ரிச்னு பார்த்தா நம்மதான், நம்மகிட்ட இருக்கிற உறவு முறை சொற்கள் உங்களுக்கு தெரியாது இல்ல. அவ்வளவு உறவு முறை சிக்கலுக்கும் இங்கிலீஷ்ல ஒரே ஒரு வார்த்தையில முடிச்சுட்டு போயிருவான். அம்மா அவ்வளவு சொல்லுவோம், சித்திம்போ, அதும்போ, இதும்போ எல்லாத்தையுமே ஆன்டிங்கிற ஒரே வார்த்தையில முடிச்சுட்டு போயிருவான். அவங்களுடைய பேஸ்ட் ஆன் தி கல்ச்சர் இட் வில் டிஃபர். பட் ஆனா விளக்கம் தான். இப்ப நான் டிக்ஷனரி ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கும்போது கூட நீங்க சொல்ற அக்காவே விளக்கம் தான் சொல்ற மாதிரி இருக்கு. இங்கிலீஷ்ல வந்துட்டு விளக்கி தான் எழுதுற மாதிரி இருக்கு. ஒரே டைம்ல நம்மளால போட முடியல. இதுதான் அந்த பேசிட்டு இருக்கும்போது ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் ஆஃப் டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன்ல கல்ச்சுரல் டிஃபரன்சஸ் இருக்கு. பட் we can paraphrase it.
ஓகே சார். நன்றி, அருமையான விளக்கம் சார். அருமையான.
Thank you sir.
Thank you sir.
Sir, Mr. Anbalahan has raised a question in the chat box. Which translation is considered the best type of translation, sir?
Yes, which translation is considered, as Trident says, paraphrase is the best type of translation. So everybody has given, the great scholars, maybe Carford he has given, we have to take the meaning from one language to another language. Simply we translate word to word. This will not be the best translation. If it is the best translation, that should be a paraphrase. That should give the meaning. If the சார் கேட்ட அதே கேள்விதான், ஒரு அந்த மீனிங் அப்படியே கொடுக்கல அப்படின்னு சொன்னாக்கா அது பெஸ்ட் டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன் இருக்காது. எது கரெக்டா அங்க இருக்க மீனிங் எக்ஸாக்ட்டா கொடுக்குதோ that will be the right translation.
Thank you sir.
Participants, kindly fill in the feedback forms which is present in chat box for obtaining your certificates.
Any other questions?
Yeah, you can even put your questions in the chat box itself.
Yeah, participants are kindly asked to
simpler participants நிறைய வேகன்சி டிரான்ஸ்லேஷனுக்கு, நிறைய டிமாண்ட் இருக்கு டிரான்ஸ்லேஷனுக்கு. நீங்க if you improve yourself in the field of translation, you can get lots of projects. எப்படி கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வந்துட்டு அவங்களுக்கு கூட இன்னைக்கு வாய்ப்பு குறைஞ்சி போச்சு, பட் டிரான்ஸ்லேஷனுக்கு அவ்வளோ ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் வருது. எவ்ரிடே என்னோட மெயில் பாக்ஸ்ல டெய்லி ஏதாவது இந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட் அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறீங்களா, இதை அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறீங்களா வந்துட்டே இருக்கு. பட் the same way, if you improve yourself, you can get many projects in the field of translation.
Participants, any other questions?
Sachin, kindly switch off your mic.
Sir, good evening. This is Dr. Jnana Raja from the same department, host department. And your lecture was very nice and insightful lecture regarding the topic, and you substantiated all the things in a rightful way. And I was very good, inspired with the translation method you have told me. As rightly pointed out by the Tamil HOD about the creative writing, creative translation, and as well as imitative translation. And both us stand at the same. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, you can go ahead. Yes, sir.
Okay, very nice, sir. And let me ask you a question, a small question, which was raised by someone else in the group.
Yes.
Which is the right, best method of translation? Somebody asked that question. And my question is, you have suggested in your presentation that there are a lot of tools available for translation. Technology has improvised now, and it has provided a lot of platforms. And could you please suggest me some of the tools? That means the right tool for translation. So which would be useful, and it will helpful to all the people like other disciplines from other languages.
Yes, sir. Yes, sure. As I told you earlier, number of tools are available, but no one can compete with Google. You know that. So because every day they are improving. Even today, I can share you at least. Otherwise, I can send you a screenshot. Today itself, they have sent me some text for validation. Google validation. Right, number of Anugradi and so many. Now, if you type, you would Google it, you can get many tools for each and every part. If you want to analyze morphology, you can get morphological analyzer. For even Tamil language, if you give a Tamil, it will analyze the morphology, it will take everything, it will give the equivalent. So number of tools are available, but if you compare, like, so how Google Meet is better than other tools. No, we have many other platforms to conduct a meeting, but which is better? Google is better. In this way, they are spending a lot of money. They have improved a lot. Even I can surely say that they are giving 70% of right translation. So Google translation will be better. But if you go some other tools, so what is your necessity? Based on the necessity, so you can go to the other tools. If you want complete translation, Google translation will be the best one, because they are improving every day. Each and every day they are going to the next level. They are giving all the inputs. So even the technical terms, all the technical terms they are given into their Google Translate. So my choice, and it will be the right choice itself. Number of WordNet is available. Trados, a lot of the paid tools are also there, but they are getting a lot of money. Trados, you have to pay lots of money. Subscribes, you have to pay more than 10,000 rupees per month, but it is a free. But if you want to take some paid, but that will help you a lot. All the dictionaries will appear one side. The SRS will appear one side. That will support you for the translation, but these are all paid. So Trados will also be the best one. You can use the Trados, but you have to pay some money. So paid tools are also there, but for us, simply we can go for a Google Translate. That will be the best one. Some government projects, about government, how much they have created their tools. Even as CAL has created some tools, but that should be somewhat specific. நமக்கு என்ன தேவையோ அதுக்கான சின்ன சின்ன டூல்ஸா வச்சிருப்பாங்களே தவிர கம்ப்ளீட் டிரான்ஸ்லேஷனுக்கு நமக்கு எது கூகுள் டிரான்ஸ்லேட் will be the best one. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your question.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
So, hope I'm audible to everyone. Hello.
Yes, it's not audible.
Am I audible, sir? This is Anand.
Yes.
Sir, before I go to the question, let me congratulate you for the wonderful session.
Thank you so much.
So, sir, my question is, sometimes, there are so many types of translation, meaning word to word, cultural, and so many.
Yes.
So, sometimes what I found, that sometimes we have to come to different type of translation so that we can reach to the reader. We can
Yes.
reach to the intended meaning. We can carry the intended meaning to the learner, to the reader.
Yes.
So, will it be accepted?
Yes. Yeah, I think how one is able to know the actual intention of the writer while going through the translation. Is that your question?
Should I
Yeah.
repeat, sir?
Yes, it's not audible.
Sir, my question is, sometimes we do not follow any type of translation, and we translate in such a way so that we can carry the intended meaning to the speaker, to the reader actually. So, will it be accepted by the translation community?
Yes, it's not exactly audible, but I can understand how can we understand the intention of the writer to take to the readers. I think so, but I think the Mr. Anand is traveling and asking this question, but I understand how to take the intention. But to understand the intention of the writer, we must understand the background. So what we are going to translate? If you are going to translate the legal text, that will be different. If you are going to translate the cultural based text, that will be different. We must understand the background. That's what, once again, I go back to the theories. We must understand, we must analyze the text. To whom we are going to translate? What kind of what kind of a situation it is written. So yeah, once again, if you want to be best translator, you should go into the writer. As a writer, you have to think. Then we must take the translation. We must do the translation. But yeah, we must understand. We must go and we must catch in what kind of a situation it is written, to whom it is translated. So if we understand, we can give the best translation.
Sir, another question by Apeksha Sharma. What is the chief impediments of translation theory?
Yeah, that's
How one is able to know the actual intention of the writer while going through the translation?
Yeah, that's what I explained to you now. So we must understand the backgrounds. We must understand the situation to whom we are going to translate. If we should become like a writer. We must imagine like a writer. Then we can get the intention of the writer. So if you understand something, we can easily translate. But we must go through the backgrounds. If we don't understand in which situation it is written, we could not translate. Whatever it is, if it is a poetry translation, we must understand in what kind of a situation it is written. Simply for the English students, they can easily understand road not taken. How will you translate road not taken? So there are a lot of philosophies there. We must think ourselves as a person who is in this kind of a situation. We must become a writer. In his place, we should be there. Then we have to translate. Simply, if we take the words, we could not do the translation. For that, we must do the research. We do a right research on that original text, we can give a best translation. If we simply translate, that won't be a good translation. Yes.
Thank you, sir. For us, every minute is precious, and we feel grateful in our hearts Now I call upon our industrious and energetic organizer who has an elegant literary knowledge and a deep quest for literature. I call upon Dr. S. Karthik, Assistant Professor of English, Kadir Muhyiddin College, to propose the vote of thanks.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yes,
Sorry,
ma'am.
sorry for the interruption. When a translator translates the jargons, the technical terms, how is it accepted? Who gives the exact recognition for the coinage of the term, sir?
Actually, in central government, there is a standardization institute is there, ma'am. Actually, it is there, but now it is not functioning. Translation standardization company, that's by the HRD ministry, but it's functioning, but they are not seriously working into it. So when we translate, for example, நம்ம ஏற்கனவே சொன்ன மாதிரியே வாட்ஸ்அப் வந்து நிறைய டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன் இருக்கு. வாட்ஸ்அப்னா சில பேர் கட் செவின்றாங்க, சில பேர் பகிர்வின்றாங்க, சில பேர் பகிர்வான்றாங்க. நிறைய லாட்ஸ் ஆஃப் டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன்ஸ் ஆர் அவைலபிள், பட் விச் சுட் பி ஸ்டாண்டர்டைஸ்ட். அந்த வேலையை அவங்க தான் பார்க்கணும். ஸ்டாண்டர்டைசேஷன் தனியாக இன்ஸ்டியூட் ஃபார் டெக்னிக்கல் டேர்ம் ஸ்டாண்டர்டைசேஷன் சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு இன்ஸ்டியூட் இருக்கு. பட் நானே பல டைம் அப்ரோச் பண்ணி பார்த்தேன். ஸ்டாண்டர்டைஸ் பண்றதுக்கு அவங்க they should give the regulations, they have to standardize it, but it is not functioning properly. அவங்களோட வெப்சைட் அப்டேட் பண்ணி ரொம்ப வருஷம் ஆச்சு. ஸோ அவங்க they are not doing it very seriously, அதை கான்சன்ட்ரேட் பண்ணல. பட் nowadays what's happening, which term is getting very popular, that becomes a standardized. இப்போ நம்ம நல்லா யோசனை, வாட்ஸ்அப்புக்கும் கட்சேவிக்கும் என்னன்னு என்ன கனெக்ஷன் இருக்குன்னே நம்ம யோசிக்கிற மாதிரியா. கட்சேவி கேட்டல் அப்படின்ற மாதிரியான அது தமிழ் மீனிங் உள்ள போனோம்னா இதுக்கும் வாட்ஸ்அப்புக்கும் என்ன சம்பந்தம்? ஃபேஸ்புக் கூட பரவாயில்ல, ரைட், முகநூல் அப்படின்றாங்க, ரைட், எக்ஸாக்டா டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க, நம்ம அதை ஓகே. ப்ளூடூத்தை டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்காங்க, நம்ம என்னதான் பண்றதுன்னு தெரியல. நீலப்பல்லவுக்கும் ப்ளூடூத்துக்கும் என்ன சம்பந்தம்னே தெரியல. அதே மாதிரி வாட்ஸ்அப்கான எல்லா விதமான டெக்னிக்கல் டேர்ம்ஸ் இருக்குமே. இப்போ சிம்னே டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்காங்க. சிம்ங்கிறதுக்கு அதுக்கு எக்ஸ்பேன்ஷன் இருக்கு. அந்த மாதிரி வந்துட்டு இதை ஸ்டாண்டர்டைஸ் பண்றதுக்கு ப்ராப்பரா தமிழ்நாட்டிலேயோ இல்ல சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட்லயோ இருக்கு, பட் they are not properly functioning. But what's happening nowadays, which term is getting very popular, கேள்வியே இல்லாம எது பாப்புலரோ அந்த டேர்ம் ஸ்டாண்டர்டைஸ் அதுவும் ஆயிருக்கு. we have written a dictionary, அந்த டிக்ஷனரி நாங்க ஒரு டேர்மை போடுறோம். யூடியூபுக்குமே ஒரு டேர்மை நாங்களே காயின் பண்றோம். we sit and we do a research, we standardize with the approval of the government, we are publishing it. பட் அது ஸ்டாண்டர்டைஸ் ஆகுமா அப்படின்னு சொன்னா இட்ஸ் $1 million question. அதுக்கு அது பாப்புலர் ஆகணும், அதை அடுத்த லெவலுக்கு எடுத்துட்டு போனதான் வந்து அதர்வைஸ் இட் வில் பி இந்த புக். whoever has translated, மலேசியன் தமிழ் சங்கத்திலேருந்து நிறைய டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணி கொடுக்குறாங்க. பட் இதுக்கு ஒரு ப்ராப்பரான ஒரு சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட் இன்ஸ்டியூட் இருக்கு. இஃப் இட் இஸ் ஃபங்க்ஷனிங் வெரி ப்ராப்பர்லி இட் வில் பி குட். பட் nowadays what's happening, which is getting very popular in the media, அவங்க தான் அதை சக்சஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. மீடியால எந்த டேர்ம் நிறைய பாப்புலர் ஆகுதோ, இதுல பெரிய கொஸ்டின் இருக்கு மேடம். ஃபேஸ்புக் நம்ம டிரான்ஸ்லேட் எப்படி பண்ண முடியும்னு பெரிய கேள்வி. ஃபேஸ்புக்ன்றது ஒரு கம்பெனிக்காரன் அவன் பேர் வைக்கிறான். இப்ப நம்ம பேரை டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ற மாதிரி வேற ஒரு பையனுக்கு ஏதோ ஒரு பேர் வைக்கிறோம், அந்த பேருக்கு தமிழ்ல ஒரு மீனிங் இருக்கு அப்படின்னா அதை டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணி இன்னொரு இடத்துல சொன்னா அவனோட ஐடென்டிட்டி எப்படி இருக்குன்னு தெரியல. இட்ஸ் அ ப்ராப்ளம் தேர். இது ஒரு கம்பெனி நேம், ஒரு டெக்னிக்கல் டேர்ம். ஸோ டெக்னிக்கல் டேர்ம்ஸ் பரவாயில்ல, ஆனா ஒரு கம்பெனி நேமை நம்ம டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணிட்டு உட்காந்துருக்கோம். ஃபேஸ்புக் எவ்ரிபடி நோஸ் தட் தட்ஸ் அ கம்பெனி நேம். இப்போ கம்பெனி நேம் பண்ணா அவனோட ஐடென்டிட்டி கம்ப்ளீட்டா போயிருது. ஸோ இதுக்கு வந்து இப்போதைக்கு ப்ராப்பரா ஒரு ஸ்டாண்டர்டைஸ் அதுக்காக ஒரு இன்ஸ்டியூட் இருக்கு. பட் இஃப் தே ஃபங்க்ஷனிங் இட் வெல், தட் வில் பி குட். Nowadays what's happening, which term is getting very popular, that becomes a standardized. But there is no such rules and regulations are not there nowadays. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for your nice presentation and your patient explanation for my question. One more obligation for you is, as a translator, you can take this issue to the Central Institute and you can get the problem solved. People like you only can do that.
Seriously, madam.
It's an obligation.
When I was in a National Translation Mission, we worked for a mobile technical term translation, madam. We send the book to the institute. We don't get any reply. So once in every 6 months, I'm writing a mail to them, but they are not replying, ma'am. That should be standardized. That is a necessity nowadays, but they are not doing it. So we'll try. Surely we'll do it, ma'am. Again, I will send a mail. I will send a copy to you as well, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you
There is
very much,
some
sir.
other, yeah, there is a question in the chat box. Do you think many jobs and careers related to translation will disappear and replaced by robots in the near future? So நீங்க robots ன்னு சொல்றத நான் Google translation சொல்றேன். Definitely that won't happen. So machines will do translation only 70%. Next 30% we should do it. என்னதான் பண்ணாலும் machines should not replace human translation. Machine will do. So human aided machine translation we can say. Machine translate பண்ணோம், we should also correct it. Without correcting by the human, the translation will not be perfect. யாருக்கு டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்றோம்னு மிஷினுக்கு என்ன தெரியும்? சின்ன குழந்தைங்க டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணும்போது அது வேற மாதிரி இருக்கும். பெரிய ஆளுங்களுக்கு டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணும்போது அது வேற இருக்கும். யாருக்கு டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்றோம், அதுல என்ன விஷயம் இருக்குன்றது மிஷின் எக்ஸாக்ட்லி இட் வில் டிரான்ஸ்லேட். பட் டு whom we are taking the translation. ஸோ அது முக்கியம். என்னைக்குமே ரொபாட்ஸ் வந்துட்டு வில் ஹெல்ப் அஸ், அவ்வளவுதான். ஒரு 70% machines can help us, but human translation will be the better. Yes, again the same questions. What do you think about using artificial intelligence in translation? Again the same point I'm giving you. Machines can help to the translators, but machine cannot translate exactly. Exact translation will completely done by the human only. So whatever, so no, robots in the intelligence, artificial intelligence in the field will improve. பட் நம்ம ரொபாட் படத்துல பார்த்த மாதிரி that will understand in a different way. எக்ஸாக்டா அதுக்கு அப்படியே நம்ம என்ன யோசிக்கிறோங்கிறத கேட்ச் பண்றது இல்ல. டிரான்ஸ்லேட்டர்ங்கிறது ரைட்டர் உள்ள பூந்துட்டு நம்ம வெளியில எடுத்துட்டு வரணும், வேற விஷயத்த சொல்லணும். பட் மெஷின்ஸ் cannot replace the human translation. Machine aided human translation will be there. Yes, any other questions?
Thank you, sir. Now I call upon Dr. S. Karthik, Assistant Professor of English, Kadir Mohideen College, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening to all. Honorable Secretary, respected Management Committee members, respected Principal, Vice Principal, Dean of Arts, Dean of Science, Head of the Department of English, faculty members, teaching and non-teaching staff, students, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. First of all, I would like to thank our Secretary, Haji S. Muhammad Mira Sahib, for all the support and encouragement to organize the webinar. You are so kind and generous with your time and energy. Thank you very much for being an excellent secretary. I thank you, sir. I would also like to thank the management committee members for their support. I am immensely thankful to our principal, Dr. A. Muhammad Nasser, for being the and stimulate us to our best understanding as builder of strength with a deep sense of appreciation. We thank you so much, sir. Our sincere gratitude goes to our Vice Principal, Dr. Yenna Mai Algaj, for this untiring effort rendered. Thank you, sir. I should mention the deep sense of gratitude to the Dean of Arts, Professor Syed Ahmad Gabir, and Dean of Science, Dr. A. for being a constant motivators and guiding force in all our endeavors. I thank you, sir. I would especially thank our head of the department, Professor M.A. Daslima, for her unfaltering support and confidence in us. She is the backbone of our department and the guiding force for every new step forever. I thank you, ma'am. Next, I express my heartfelt gratitude to today's eminent speaker, Dr. L. Rajesh, for providing encouragement on this day to all the audience. You have created a good sparkle and have asked you inside to think differently. It is really noteworthy and amazing. We are all inspired by your great words, sir. On behalf of the Department English and in my own behalf, I extend heartiest thanks to the chief guest who spared his valuable time during busy schedule to grace our occasion. I thank you, sir. My sincere thanks to webinar coordinators Dr. G.R. Jnanaraja and Ms. I. Muhammad Nasser, Department of English, for their endless support. I thank our professors. My special thanks to Mr. K. Parthiban, Department of English, for his chief guest introduction. I thank you, sir. I would like to
Mr. V. Abhishek and Mr. T. Varsini for hosting the webinar in a proper way. Thank you very much. I also extend my final thanks to all the faculty members for their enormous cooperation in organizing this event. An event like this cannot happen overnight. It requires planning. We have been fortunate enough to be the team of very motivated and dedicated my colleagues. I am happy to express my heartfelt thanks to our staff who made this webinar a great success. My deep sense of thanks and appreciation go to all the scholars, students, and all the participation who attend this webinar with great enthusiasm from all the over India. I thank you each and everyone. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, kindly submit your feedback on this webinar, which is posted in the chat box. Thank you for your comments and questions. On the behalf of the Department of English, Kadir Mughideen College, a hearty thanks to all the participants, faculty members from other colleges for paying your perfect attention and made this evening a glorious one. Once again, I thank you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, one and all.
Thank you,
Actually, ma'am,
Mr.
you have a wonderful team, ma'am, young and active team. You can make wonders having this team, ma'am. Congrats, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Sir.
They have organized very well.
Thank you, sir. The credit goes to Dr. S. Karthik. He has made the